So today I'm going to be working with iTerm scripting, and I've got a script here. If you've ever seen my Ask OpenAI helper here, where I can do something like show me big files. If I invoke my shortcut here, you can see it replaces it with a command that was generated by reaching out to OpenAI and getting a response back and then pasting it over the top of whatever I typed. So this is the script that I want to make changes to. It's an iTerm script. And I want to talk a little bit about how you can efficiently go about the process of making changes to the script and reloading them. And I want to talk about that in the context of using GUI scripting with AppleScript. All right, so let's come back here. This is the script I've got. Let's say I want to change it. Instead of pasting the response here, let's just say I don't ask for that. And instead, I'm testing some new feature here, and I just want to paste the test message instead here. All right, so I can make that change to the file and save the file. And once I save that, I've got a button set up. I'm going to explain this. Don't worry. Got a button set up that I can push here. It'll restart the script here, and then I can come over to the tab here where I had typed something in previously, type something else in. I can now invoke my shortcut here, and there you go. You can see I got the test message. So now let's come back here and let's change this to test 2. Let me show you what the steps look like if I did that by hand here. So I go ahead and save this file, and then I need to come over to the script console and iTerm. It's up in the menu if you need it here underneath of scripts, manage, and then the console here. So if I wanted to restart the script and reload the changes by hand here, I need to click the last script reference here. It says Wes on it. That's the name of my script. I'd have to come down below then, choose restart here. And then that starts up a new instance. It kills off the old one. And you can see I then have to click on the new instance if I want to see the logs here. Then once I've done that, I can come back over here, over to a new tab. And we'll just put something else in here, invoke my shortcut again. And you can see I get test 2 in that case. So obviously going about the process of manually clicking through the GUI to restart the script every time I make a change to it, that's quite the hassle. So that's why I set up this AppleScript here. Set up this AppleScript to go through the process and automate everything for me. So if I want to make a change again, watch what happens now. Put some 3s in, save that file, hit my button on my Stream Deck, restarts, and it brings me back to the command line where I was at here. And now if I cancel out of that and put something else in here, invoke my shortcut, you can see I get the test with the 3s. Now, before I get into the AppleScript, I want to show you one more thing I did here. So if I come over to my script, and let's just say I break something here, I have a syntax error. Let's just say I save that anyways, though. Go to restart here. And so in this case, instead of going back to the terminal, in this case, I said, if the script detects that there's an error, like this syntax error right here, then don't go back to the terminal. Instead, keep this on top so that I can see it and I can do something about it. So 2 caveats there. If everything goes well, go back to where I was at. Otherwise, stay here so I can see the problem. All right, so here's the AppleScript to do all of this. All right, so on a high level, the first thing I do here, I grab a reference to the original window so I can go back to that when I'm done here. And then I grab a reference to the script console. If it's not open, I go ahead and open it up here. That's what this does right here. So over here, if I close the script console, and then if I hit my restart button again, since it wasn't open, it opens it up and it does the restart. So that's another little feature I have. All right, once it's open, I make sure that it's on top here. So bring it to the front if it's not on the front. Then I get a reference to some of the controls on here. For example, the restart button down here, the list of script runs over on the left-hand side here. And then when it comes time to a restart, I'm going to select the last row of this table over here. So I click right here. That's what that does. Also make sure it's in focus in case it has to scroll to see it. Then I come down here and I click on the restart button. So here's the restart button. All right. And then over in the script here, the next step here is to once again select the last row because that's a new row here for the new run. All right. Also, again, make sure it's focused. And then I wait about half a second here for the script to start up so I can detect any initial failures. All right. And then to figure out if there's a failure or not, if you can see over in the script history here, there's parentheses around the script name. That means that it terminated. And since I just started it, that probably means there's a problem here. So that's the indicator I use to decide if there's a problem here. So down here, I'm just basically looking at that last row, seeing if the item is wrapped in parentheses. And if it is, I assume it's a failure. And if it's a failure, then I just stop right here. Otherwise, as a very last step here, then I go ahead and restore that original window and put it back on top. So as you can see here, there's quite a bit you can do inside of GUI scripting and AppleScript. I think it's well worth the time when you have a workflow here that's manual and tedious and requires clicking around. It's not that fun to do and that you need to do somewhat frequently. Well, if that's the case, then it may very well be worth the time to put in some effort to create some AppleScripts to automate the process so you don't have to do it by hand.